Hello, this is Gordon with Metaverse and Crypto, and we're here today for another episode of my YouTube channel. We're looking at Y-5 again with another update. As always, this is not financial advice. Please do your own research, as this is for educational purposes only. Thank you. Finally, if you like my content, please click the like button and subscribe to my channel. So today we're going to cover AMA that happened on May 6th with all the details in that. We also have a version 2 of the exchange, a sneak peek that was given on the Investors Roundtable. We'll have a quick look at that. And as well, I like to go over the current prices that are coming from PooCoin and looking at the buyback and burn as well. So in front of us we have a summary that was provided by Bradley, the CEO of Y-5 Finance. He provided this after the AMA, and you can see that there was a lot of things that they updated on. It was a very exciting meeting. I was interested in hearing about it and looking forward to these things as they develop. Now, just a quick listing of them. From basically, Y-5 is looking at changing its profile from being a reflections token to a wealth creation token. So just kind of a different positioning of the token, which I think is going to be good for it going forward. So what does this actually mean? So the wealth token is actually going to be driving revenue towards it from all the other kind of pieces that are going to be discussed. So it's going to be the one token that kind of is driven to all the buyback and burn of all these extra utilities. Will be working towards this and creating value for the original Y-5 finance token that we currently have available to us. So first thing on the list is wallet insurance. They're going to provide wallet insurance. Y-5 is creating their own wallet as part of the ecosystem, and there's been discussions at previous AMAs around how Bradley's mentioned that they're looking at possibly maybe having a one-time tax exemption for people to transfer their Y-5 tokens into this wallet. And right now, as they create the decentralized exchange, the DEX, and the centralized exchange, the CEX, they want to actually, they're going to have different wallets. You're going to have a DeFi wallet, so your MetaMask and stuff will connect through that. And then the central exchange will allow for, where the current wallets are, they'll have a wallet worked right into that system as well. Now, eventually they hope to have, one wallet, and they're going to be working towards this. And this is a work in progress, and they want to develop this out, over the next year or two. And these things will take time to develop, but they've been moving forward. These guys keep their heads down, and they've been doing great at actually providing these utilities and new pieces for investors in a timely or before their expected kind of fashion. So a second piece that they have is kind of a debit card and currency exchange. Now the debit card is looking at being able to allow people to load up their BUSD. It's kind of a Visa or debit, kind of load it up with your BUSD, or you can whatever cryptocurrency. Even if you wanted to do it, you could load it up with fiat. So basically you have this debit card, a Y-5 debit card, which allows you to spend your cryptocurrency without actually having to, port it over, get it out, and then put it into your account and make it into fiat. You'll have access to it once you get this debit card, and hopefully this will be accessible worldwide as we go forward. Right now they're just looking at letting us know that they're looking at this and going to bring it out as one of the utilities going forward. Now the Launchpad has been discussed previously. It is actually ready to go. They were looking at having 2 tokens in place in order before they actually brought it out. Now Bradley did mention in the AMA that the Launchpad, his words were useless. I'm not sure that was the best choice of words, but the Launchpad has less value, I guess, if you don't have tokens launching on it, and also, you don't get as much exposure from new launch pads, so people are, less willing to go with new launch pads because, if you go with Pink Sale, say, you start trending up there as, people start clicking on your link and you get kind of top 12, top 15, you get more eyes on it as people, see it at these, more usual places in order to launch your tokens. Now I'll skip over the exchange and go straight to the V2 contract. We'll cover the exchange last. The V2 contract has, my last video on Y-5 was discussing how they had, the attacks on their contract, and this is one of their priorities. They're going to look at, the debit card currency exchange and a V2 contract in order to limit these vulnerabilities to Y-5. So this is upcoming sometime in the near future here. So next on the list there, Y-5 created a deal with a microfinance company that will enable the peer-to-peer microfinancing transactions. They're coming up with a Great British Pound stablecoin and other pieces of their exchange, so they want to be able to, peer-to-peer, be able to do this. I don't have a whole lot of detail around this, but with the Great British Pound stablecoin and the other, this will drive revenue through the exchange and that stable coin will be utilized. They also mentioned as well, as far as the other coins, they want to create kind of an exchange token, kind of like BNB, but it'll be a Y-5 version of BNB in order to actually, facilitate transactions on their exchange. Bradley also noted that there will be a private sale for all Y-5 holders for this microfinance company. So we'll actually, if you're a holder, and I am personally, you'll get first, I guess, dibs on, getting access to this token going forward for this private sale. They didn't actually give any details on that. This will be forthcoming, but look forward to that. And one of the things that I'm going to start saving my reflections for, because I'm definitely interested in this. Now, finally, before I get into the last point, Bradley did mention about the staking and the 5 tokens that Y-5 was originally set up for. They may not get around to this with some of the other priorities with the V2 contract and the debit card first in Q2, but as promised, they will be doing the 100 trillion airdrop before June. The end of this Q2, so this will be forthcoming. There's a 100 trillion airdrop to all those that have bought into Y-5 and held their tokens since January 15th and haven't sold off. So this is a huge piece of the puzzle and will create a lot of action for the token, because that 100 trillion is tax, so there's going to be 20 trillion in tax that goes through, and BSD will be provided to holders going forward. Now, finally, Bradley mentioned there's a possibility, or not a possibility, there will be a new airdrop. He said he didn't want to really get into it much, but it is one of those carrots that was dangled out there. There was really no details, and he shied away from questioning during the AMA on, he just mentioned it and said he didn't want to get into it any further right now. But it's one of those things that's out there for us, and once the 100 trillion airdrop that's currently available and is going to happen here in Q2, it's something to look forward to for investors to go forward. There's no details around what that will be and how it's going to be structured, but it's out there for anticipatory kind of things, and is making me excited to be a long-term holder for Y-5. So now onto the V2 exchange. You'll see in front of you, this is a screenshot that was done by the investors roundtable. Look up Todd Hart at Go Todd Hart, Honey Badger, 1314 and DeFi Connection. There are 3 gentlemen that have much better connections in the space than I, and they also have the kind of investors roundtable, and they do an investors pit Wednesdays and Fridays throughout the week. Go look up their videos. Great information here, and I encourage people to listen to them and get in contact and follow around. These guys know their stuff as far as I'm concerned, and they're great at providing information by investors for investors type stuff. So this V2 exchange will be coming out currently with the current version 1 of the exchange. There's about 8 main tokens, Bitcoin, Ethereum type stuff that are on there, and around 12 or so DeFi coins that I've mentioned earlier in my other videos that I have. This new version will look at about 100 coins they're looking at, so it'll be like 5 times what we currently have, and they'll be building that out as we go forward. And it's also much better as far as the version 1 is more of a swap, while version 2 looks like some of the more advanced exchanges like FTX or Gate.io, where you have your cells that you can buy, sell, and look forward to that as well. I think that this will be good going forward. It's also one of the first exchanges built for tokenomics for reflective tokens, so you'll be able to sell these reflective tokens on here. And there's some challenges around that with the CXs, the central exchanges, like Binance doesn't support that. They've made actually a deal with PancakeSwap in order to work through that, but they don't actually or can't actually do it on Binance right now. So this exchange is being built for reflective tokens, and Y-5 is going to be one of the premier tokens that's on there. And they do vet all the tokens that are on here. Initially they had like 41 applications I heard, and they currently have, like I said, about 12 or so DeFi tokens that are on there. So there's quite a few that didn't make the cut, and so that actually these are tokens with a business plan and a solid plan going forward. So not just anybody can list on the Y-5 exchange. You can go here and buy with a little more confidence in the DeFi space. Well, I say a little, actually more confidence. There's nothing that's ever perfect, but this is a great way to actually move forward and create a little more confidence in the space. Now, a quick look at the charts since my last video, where you can see that red candle, the big red candle just before May 1st. That's where the 100 plus sell-offs happened. It's been a little bit of a downturn. Of course, Bitcoin has been, and the general market sentiments have had this go down. It's down from about around 1,000 down to 89.34. But there's been some, decent volume action going forward. So, we're looking for an upturn in the market, and I think Y-5 has even been withholding better than a lot of tokens due to the excitement of the upcoming news. And finally, as promised, the data for the buyback and burn from the exchange that's currently going on. You can see that there's been a few 10 billion, 7 billion, and then we have a couple 20 billion. 20 billion days actually, and the 22 billion at the bottom, kind of 6 days and 5 hours ago. This is the day after kind of everything went with the 100 sell-offs and people were buying in, so there's a little more action on the exchange, and it's been a little bit more consistent, I guess, and we go forward kind of between the 10 and 20 billion burn. The number at the top, the 146 billion, that's what's in the burn wallet, and it continues to increase. Looking forward to this increasing as we get more tokens, and also as we get into the version 2 of the exchange. Well, that's it for another episode here with Gordon on Metaverse and Crypto. I thank you if you made it all the way to the end. Again, click the like button and subscribe to my channel if you enjoy my content. Thanks.